California dreaming about you.
Hey guys, SimCoder here, and today we are going to learn how we can send notifications anytime a user sends a message. Okay, so we'll be using a service for this. We won't be writing all of the code, and that's because, well, as I've said before, if you can avoid reinventing the wheel, then you should. It will save you a lot of time, and you'll be sure that the code will work seamlessly. Okay, so what we are going to use is a project called OneSignal, which you can get, and I tried to get the main page, but okay, just type OneSignal in Google or onesignal.com in your browser and you'll get there. And this is an app that integrates with Firebase, and it will help you send messages, notifications without any problem. So I'm going to go ahead and add our app, and in this case it is What's Up Loan. Add app. We are going to choose Google Android, and now we are prompted with this dialog in which we are asked for a Firebase server key and a Firebase sender ID. So now we go into the Firebase console, and let me just open it up, go into What's Up. Okay, and now we're into project settings and go to cloud messaging. Okay, so in here you are asked for the server key, and the server key is this one, the first one. Simply copy it, paste it there, and then you are asked for the sender ID, which is here, and make sure you do it on your Firebase console. Don't copy the numbers that are in here. It is specific to each and every single console. Okay, save it. Now choose native Android. And now we are asked to install the SDK. And to do this, you are going to go into the documentation, and you can get it at documentation.onesignal.com, and you'll get everything that I have in here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is go into Android SDK setup. And in here we have all of the things that you have to add to your Gradle file in order to get OneSignal up and running. Okay, so I'm going to first of all simply copy all of this in the build Gradle. I'm going to jump into our What's Up clone Android project, open up build Gradle module app, and add it up top above the apply plugin com.android.application. Okay, make sure you have the latest version, and that's it for now. Now jump back into the Android SDK setup page, and you're going to grab the implementation, jump back into your Android file, Android project, and simply add it in here. Update it, and now for the final thing, we are going to get this line of code, which is the manifest placeholders. So simply get the manifest placeholders, and you have a sketch in here showing you what you need to do. So don't worry, it is really simple. And for the manifest placeholders, we are going to add it inside the Android default config. Okay. And as you can see, we have this text here saying put your OneSignal app ID here, and to do that we must copy this app ID, come in here and simply paste it. Okay, now I'm going to sync it, just give it some time, and after that we'll get back to the code. Okay, so the Gradle finished building, and now we can start subscribing users to this service, because that's what this dialog wants. It wants us to subscribe users to check if the installation was done correctly. And for that, we are going to simply initialize the OneSignal code, and that's extremely easy to do, and it is done. You can check how to do it. Let me just check in here. It is in here, I believe. Okay, it is in here. So all you have to do is to call this start init. You have to initialize the OneSignal parts, And then you have to subscribe a user, which is all detailed in here. I'm not going to go through it. It's just to show you that all of the code is available and the documentation is truly great. And you can get it in the SDK API reference, Android native SDK. Okay, so I'm going to forget about this. I'm going to go into the main page activity, because this is the first page where the user is logged in and we are certain that the user will pass through here after logging in. And I'm going to simply initialize the OneSignal part. So I'm going to say OneSignal dot start init this dot init. Okay, that's it for now. And now we are going to tell OneSignal that we have a user that wants to start receiving notifications. So the first thing that we are going to do is say OneSignal dot set subscription to true, to tell the OneSignal platform that we are open to receive notifications. And now we are going to get a notification ID, that a notification key, better yet, that will allow us to know to which user we want to send a message to. Okay, so this is really simple. We have to do OneSignal.ID is available, new check, OneSignal ID is available. And this will provide us with a unique ID, registration ID, that we can use for this specific user. Okay? Get this, and now we are going to save it in the user database. So Firebase database.getInstance.getReference.child. And now let's jump into the database just to make sure we don't commit any errors. Real-time database. Give it some time to load up. Okay, so we have the user. We want child user, then child user ID, and then we have the notification key. Okay, really simple. So child user dot child firebase auth dot get instance dot get UID to get the UID of the user that's currently logged in. Dot child notification key, and we are going to set the value to user ID. I believe I told registration ID, it is user ID that gives you the notification key. And this is, as I've said, just so that we can get this notification key and send the notifications to the users that we want. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to send message from user to user to a specific user. Okay? And now I'm going to add one more line, which is OneSignal.set in-focus displaying to OneSignal.os in-focus display option dot notifications. And this is just so that, because the default option for OneSignal is that when we will have the app open, then a notification will appear as in the form of a dialog. This will simply force the application to show it in the form of a notification in the top bar. Okay, so that's it. Now we have the OneSignal started. I'm going to quickly run the app and see if we are able to subscribe a user in here. Okay, so let's do it, and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so I've run the app, and if I go back, then it says that we are able to get subscribed users, and you must click the button. I already did, so that's why this page is appearing. So you have to click check subscribed users, and then you'll be done. So that's it. Now, if I go into users, then this user that logged in will appear. So there we go. We have the custom phone, which is my emulator, the ID, and if I go into the database, then the notification key will appear here. Okay, so we are done setting up, except for one thing, which I'm going to actually do right now, and we have to go into the logout on click listener right here, and we simply have to unsubscribe this phone from the notifications. Otherwise, even if we log out, the OneSignal will continue to send notifications our way if you receive any, which isn't supposed to happen because we are logged out. We are done with that account. So we simply say set subscription to false, and that's it. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start writing the code to send an actual notification. So I'm going to come into utils, new Java class, and call it send notification. And I'm doing this in a parts class because you might want to send notifications if a chat is created, and not only just when you send a message. Okay, so in here I'm going to create a function called public void send notification. Okay, and I'm actually going to remove void. This will make it a constructor. Okay, and now let's simply say string message, string heading, and string notification key. String notification key. Okay, that's it. Oops, and I forgot it starts with a capital S, so that's where the problem is. Okay, and now we can try to send a message. Okay, we are notification, there's a misspelled word. Okay, and now the way you send messages is you can again go into the documentation, and I'm going to try to find it, sending notifications, here we go. You build a JSON object which has the content with the messages and the images that you want to appear in the notification and all of that. I'm not going to go through this. I'm going to copy this. No, I'm going to type it just to make it clear for you guys. So let's do a JSON object, notification content, and we'll say new JSON object. And in here, as I said, we must create a JSON. So this won't seem really clear, but it is how it is done. You open brackets, say content. I'm going to remove the spaces. And in here you have these small quotation marks, which aren't the quotation marks. I always forget the names of this, but it doesn't matter. You can take a look at it yourself. Then 2 points. And we are going to say that the matches will be in English. So EN, close that. Open up again, close the quotation marks, add the message. And this is confusing, I know, so try to get the code from the GitHub just to make sure you don't make any mistakes when trying to copy this code. Otherwise, errors will appear for sure. Okay, now comma. And this is the message that will appear in the notification. Okay, and now we can go ahead and include the ID of the user that we want to send the message to. So let's add a plus, and I'm going to go into the next line and say quotation marks includes player IDs. 2 points. Now open a straight brackets and add the notification key. Notification key. Close all of that up. Add a plus again. And now we'll add the heading, which is the title of the notification. So I'm actually going to simply copy this line in here, paste it there, and say headings. Now it is curly brackets, en, close that up, and now instead of the notification key it is heading. Okay, and now to close that up we are simply going to add this, then the curly brackets, and we are done. Okay, there must be an error here because this can throw an exception, and to resolve this we simply click Alt Enter and click Surround with Try and Catch, and the error will disappear. Okay, again, this is a bit confusing. I know building a JSON like this is always confusing, but again, try to go to my GitHub, the link is below, and you can get all of the code without any problems. I'll hope I didn't make any mistake when copying this, but yeah, we'll see. And now to send the notification, this JSON, all we have to do is say OneSignal dot post notification contents, comma, null. Okay, and we are done. Now I'm going to break down this lesson, the notification part, into two parts, because we must now get the notification key that the other user has, and for that I'm going to change the code around a bit from even the main page activity, because in here I'm going to find a way alongside you guys to get the notification key or the user ID that this chat is part of. Okay, because right now we don't have any easy way to get each other. So if I'm this user, I don't know that I'm talking to this user necessarily, and that's an important thing because well, we want the users to be able to see each other's names and so on and so forth in the chat activity. And so yeah, I'm going to leave that to the next lesson. For now, however, to test the app, I'm going to send notifications, and I'm going to brute force the notification key. So I'm going to say that notification key is equal to this key right here that I got from the first user. I'm going to paste it in here, and that way the notifications will always go to this user right here. Okay, so yeah, that's how I'm going to do it for now, that we don't have the notification key, but we will in the next lesson, so don't worry. And I'm going to go inside the main page activity, and I'm going to simply send a notification right inside here. So send new, send notification, and now we have the message, the heading, and the notification key, which isn't necessary in here. The message will be message 1, whatever, and the heading will be heading 1. It can be null, and this is just for testing purposes. As I've said, in the next lesson we'll go on with the notifications and actually make it work when sending from user to user. Okay, so I'm going to run the app and see if everything checks out. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to, this is the phone that has the notification key, so the notification I expect to appear here. I'm going to go inside the WhatsApp clone app, and it should appear. They are logged in with the same user. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, so what's happening is because I'm logged in both phones with the same user, it is sending to the latest one, but it is sending the notifications. It will appear in here. Okay, heading message 1, and that's what we sent. Okay, so as I said, in the next lesson we'll learn how we can get the notification key and show the user data in the chat list and in the chat activity. So yeah, it is starting to build up. So we have notifications working. Now it's just about the last step of the process. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and ciao.